YouTube, what up? I'm back from vacation. It's good to see you guys, man. Thanks for all you guys that have signed up to the boot camp so far. I'm gonna say right now that I'm gonna hint something special for the boot camp. We're working on a project. I can't go too far into the details yet, but I will soon. There's going to be a chance for the people that have already signed up to win money. And so, yeah, if you haven't signed up yet, you probably should, because we've got some stuff on the horizon that looks like it could be pretty cool. But I can't. I'm going to tell you guys soon. Hopefully in like 3-4 days, I'll have a follow-up announcement. So yeah, the boot camp's turning a lot of heads. I've seen content creators saying things like, oh yeah, I'm thinking about doing a boot camp, a class. And I also, my favorite one recently, I've been getting clips all over my Discord. My favorite thing that I got sent to me is Pro Guides just straight. Just no shame. Would you buy a Pro Guides month-long boot? They didn't even change the name. Like, could you guys have changed it to like seminar or like powwow or something? Like, couldn't you have, I don't know, man. I'm sincerely, they always say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. I was very flattered. So thank you. Thank you. It's nice to know that one man is equal to an entire operation over there at Pro Guides. So thanks, guys. Listen, real quick in the comments, before today's video, I was on vacation. I haven't been able to play that much, and I haven't been coaching. Coaching's turned off for the time being because I'm working on the boot camp. I want to know, from the silent, quiet people, low elo content okay or not? The thing is, for me, obviously, it's way less stressful for content creators to do low elo content. Why not? The queue times are way shorter. Demonstrating things is a lot easier. But at the same time, I can understand, like, if people want to see higher elo stuff. Or alternatively, I was thinking about doing like an off meta climb, like just take a strategy that's a little off the beaten path, something like a Tryndamere ADC, and do one of those. But just let me know in the comments what you guys think. I've been hearing a lot of criticism lately. It's very tough for me to juggle all this stuff, setting up the boot camps, doing whatever I need to do with like summoner speak and all that, obviously, to put it all together for you guys. And so I just want to know what you guys think. So let me know. I'm trying to do all this stuff and try to do as much as I can. And also, before I go, please go to my second channel. It is doing so well. My second editor is actually incredible. He does such a good job. I really wanted to shout him out in one of these videos, and I wanted to make sure that people go over there and check out the second channel. We'll put a link in the description below. It's literally just League of Legends Challenger Coaching. You can look it up and you will find it, and you will not be disappointed. The content is really good over there, man. The guy, he's doing such a phenomenal job. So go check it out. I hope you guys think about doing the bootcamp, bootcamp.lol. Again, just over 20 days. We got cool stuff coming that I don't think you'll want to miss. And when it gets announced, I think it might blow the signups up even higher. So sign up sooner rather than later. All right. I love you guys. Enjoy Summoner Speak with a Pekin Woof. And his name is not Pecker Wolf, actually. So yeah, I corrected myself. Pekin Woof. Did I say that name right?
People say Pekin and Pekin. I don't really mind. It's either one. It's supposed to be Pekin.
It is? It is? Pekin? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Where did the name come from?
There's a dog breed that is called a Pekingese, and it kind of looks like a pug with long fur. It's pretty ugly looking because it has, the flat face and whatever. Basically, it's just back when I was a kid and I played games like Age of Empires and Sims and stuff, it was all single player games, so you didn't really need to enter in a name, or you could enter in, my name, Isaac or something. But then my friend introduced me to RuneScape and asked for a username, and like he was telling me about like how you should like make it something unique, and you don't like just put in your name or whatever. And at the time, I just was interested in dogs a lot. I went to the library and rented out a big book of dogs, like with all the dog breeds, and I just remembered that there is a really funny looking dog, and for some reason we thought that looked like Pac-Man or something, or the picture that they used. So we were just laughing at it for probably 10 minutes straight or something, no lie. And it just stuck with me. I was like, I'll just make it Pekingese 1. And then eventually when I started trying to find a team and stuff, I didn't want to be called Pekingese anymore. I was like, I kind of wanted to be like shorter. But if somebody didn't want to say like Pekin Wolf, but just say like Pekin. So I wanted to keep it, and I was like, but if I make it as Pekin, People are probably gonna say peking, like think it's like Peking duck or something.
Yeah.
I'll put wolf at the end because it's dog related, I guess, and that's what I ended up with, I guess.
That
Yeah.
is a that is an epic yarn, dude. I'm not gonna lie, I was literally, so someone mentioned you when I was doing the first boot camp, and I mean no offense when I say this. I know you've been in the scene for a while. At the time, I'd never bumped into you in solo queue, and I mean, to be fair, that makes sense. You've been high elo a hell of a lot longer than I have, and I imagine we probably, the times that I have played high elo, I was never in your time zone. It seems like you play more in the evenings,
I played
right?
a couple. That was last season, though. It was last season.
What we played?
Yeah, like
Oh, okay.
maybe three or four times.
Did I suck?
No, I mean,
Okay.
the thing is, I play mages, and I think every single time you played Tryndamere mid, so I kind of just got dove at level 6 because my champions kind of are getting hard countered.
that was probably not last year. That was probably 2 years ago. Because I
maybe 2 years.
Yeah, because
I lose track of time. So
no, the game has definitely gone by fast. Yeah, there was definitely a series of time where it was like, it was almost like exploitative to play Tryndamere mid. I think it's still pretty good.
It still is.
Yeah,
I
it's still
mean, we
pretty
have
good.
Nemesis plays it all the time inside Korean Challenger and literally just smashes people depending on what they're picking.
Yeah, it is
I
very.
imagine a lot of the. Oh,
Yeah,
you go ahead.
no, go ahead. You're good. You're good. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that most of the meta champions now, I'm sure that are pretty decent against it, though. You know, like Lee Sin, Set, Nocturne are probably better than picking like a Zoe or a Ziggs.
Yeah, I would say. Well, honestly, you mentioned Zoe and Ziggs. Both of those champions play pretty damn well in the Tryndamere mid too. Zoe's actually the one. If I had to put like an oh shit meter on like certain lanes, I would probably say Zoe was the one that I've died to the most playing that strat. I don't know what it is. That champion just has my number. And then like Set.
I feel that.
Yeah, Set was the other one where like I was just like, okay, I guess I just lose because I picked this. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit.
Yeah, I actually forgot the word that I say whenever I'm versus something that I normally lose against, and it's not really because I necessarily think that the champion is that good, but I just have I struggle versus them. Oh, mental block. Like Lucian mid.
Yeah.
Lucian, and like when people play like unique picks, sometimes like Ari, I just like kill myself from stupid things because nobody plays that champion. I'm like, I mean, come on, man, this champion is bad, but then I just die to it or something.
Yeah, where it's like you it's not even that you underestimate it, it's just like if for whatever reason your brain can't connect the dots for why it's bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, wait, this is supposed to suck though. Like, what am I
I mean, Lucian mid definitely does not suck, but
no.
I don't know, man. That champion, it requires too much strength in like sidestepping his Q, and it's just too difficult. Also, Lucian mid, I'm pretty sure, I think it counters a lot of my champions because I just play mages, so.
Yeah, I see here, I don't know if you see that on the screen share, like I'm watching you play Silas, and I kind of first off, I wanna just say you have been in the scene for a while, and I just saw on Twitter the other day because I was monitoring you that you said you had like 3 accounts in Challenger right now. That's freaking nuts. First of all,
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly don't even know how you do that. Yeah, I don't even know how you do that. I suppose like once you're able to do it, you know, once, it's probably fine to do it again. But I have never, like I've had accounts around Challenger, but I've never multied Challengers. So that's just crazy. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because obviously I want to give you your proper credential shout out. But the other thing is, I want your take on what I just have basically defined the meta as right now, and see if you agree, because you would be more apt to give a good conclusion than I am right now in regards to high elo. I feel like the meta is, and I've been calling it the Ooga Booga meta for lack of a better a way to describe it. And basically what I consider it is champions that can like almost like face roll, feel really almost like bruisers, I guess, but it just feel really obnoxious to play into in solo queue. Like low elo, high elo. Like if you pick something, like I see you running Silas here, and that's what prompted this. Do you feel that way Like, when you think about the champs that are viable, do you feel similarly to that, or am I just completely out of my
The way
brain?
I would word it would be like, the meta right now is all about early game, and I've read multiple things and I kind of have agreed on it, which is basically with Scuttle Crab being pretty important.
Mhm.
That means that for mid lane, push power is extremely important, which is why sometimes, very rarely, people do sometimes pick Zoe to push out. But that's why a lot of the bruisers can also do that and make it so mages can't shove out. Because why would anybody want to pick Victor, you know,
Yes.
when they can't contest Scuttle Crab at level 4? When a
Yes.
bruiser, of course, can. At like almost every single bruiser can. Or maybe a set will just have priority just because you can just run at the Victor and try to punish him or whatever. But I just think that there's like an extreme early game meta where like you want to pick a champion that not only scales but is also just extremely punishing early on. So
yeah, because
I
most of the
think
picks,
yeah.
I was gonna say most of the picks that I've seen that have been performing really well in my tests have been just like anything. I like how you're framing it though, early game, because I've just been framing it in my head as just like champions that once they're ahead can just smash into you.
Yeah. Also, I think champions that are scrappy and aren't very ulti reliant, which is also control mages, are a little bit worse right now because of that, right? You know, when you're playing Lee Sin, Akali, Silas, Set, you don't need your ulti to punish someone.
True.
When you're playing Victor, I would say that it's pretty important to have your ulti on and it's like on a 100-second cooldown early on and stuff. So that's another thing. I just think that like champions that are extremely scrappy and can help win fights early on are just so important. That's why we saw Lee Sin mid so much. Also, Lee Sin's E is like undodgeable and deals like more damage than Mage's abilities in the first place because it was 280 base before they nerfed it. But
yeah, so do you think the answer is basically just remove scuttles or just like remove their impact?
No, I honestly, like, people have asked me like what I would change, and honestly I don't really have an answer for it. I mean, the issue also with why control mages aren't picked as much, because that's my thing, and I see a lot of people also complaining about it. And I've also even asked, I went on Nemesis's stream. I don't even know the guy, but he gave me his opinion because I guess he saw my check marks. So he was like, "Oh, okay, I'll see this guy." I asked him what he thought about the buff to the 200 gold buff, and he said that it literally is nothing. I was like, it gets you your item a wave earlier, and that's it. And I was like, yeah, I mean, if you word it that way, it doesn't really seem like a lot.
Yeah. No, I mean, it makes a ton of sense that people feel, because I felt that way about mages. It's funny that you use Victor as like your entry level discussion point on like mage viability and like control mages.
I actually don't play Orianna or Syndra anymore. That's why I keep saying Victor, I guess.
You still play
I used
Victor?
to play those. I played. I still play. I played Victor early this season. So yeah, I played him quite a bit. I really enjoy Victor. I think he has extremely good scaling. Like, these champions are for sure still, you can win with them 100%. Like, and I'm not saying that like they're like, if you pick at them you're griefing or anything, and only it really matters for like the very high elo, where like if I pick Victor inside of like low or high diamond, like maybe diamond 2, I can probably still beat maybe difficult matchups. Like, I don't know if it is a difficult matchup. I don't know if Nocturne is or something, but
yeah, I would say so.
I think that it only matters for the extremely high elo. And,
I agree. I think I would say one thing, not so much as a disagreement, but just as like a caveat. I tell people a similar thing, except personally, when it comes to my coaching, I hate Victor, if I'm being real with you. And the reason why I hate him, I mean, obviously you know what you're doing with him. It's a you're a different breed in terms of like what elo we're talking about and in your capability on the champion. But it's essentially what you just described is that like I know that if I get a random coaching client to pick Victor, he's gonna lose Crab. So it's all about agency for a lot of my coachings. Is like, well, are we gonna be able to put our mark on the game in the first like 5 to 10 minutes? And it's kind of to double back on what you were saying earlier. It's like if they can't put their mark on the game in the first 5 to 10 minutes and get some sort of like real thing happening for the average player, they're just probably not gonna wind up doing anything. And the scaling is not even gonna matter that much. And then they're gonna leave the game not really having had learned much, right? For you've been playing since I'm pretty sure you've been playing for a long ass time. I think you've been playing since like beta, right?
Season 1.
Yeah, you've been playing forever. Yeah. So like someone like yourself, you understand the value of your champion. You understand like once I hit this spike, right? Like I know how to leverage it. And I think that's something that for a lot of people, when they start playing stuff like Victor, it's funny you use the term griefing because I tell clients all the time that they're pretty much griefing if they log this champion just because I know they're not. You know what I mean? It's like they would need to know like how to. The thing about Victor would be you could probably win lane like level 1 through 3, but you need to be really understanding of spacing and also just playing around what your opponent's strengths are. Like if you are playing versus a Silas and you can bait out his E and play around trying to make him like use his E into maybe creeps or something, you can actually like win early on. But I know what you mean. That knowledge comes from like playing the game a lot and understanding what your champion can do early on, especially like you also know the mistakes that maybe another player is going to make, right? And they don't know that and know how to identify that. Like if a Silas suddenly jumps on maybe a gold player or something, they might just immediately back off when it's a winnable fight because they see someone jumping on them. But in like maybe if it's me playing, I'll just immediately be able to punish it because I just know that like it was a mistake by them. Yeah, and you know to step through it. You know how to like kind of wiggle out of that play and make it a favorable trade. And I think that's a pretty good point is that it does boil down to like a term that has been used on me is I call it the invisible lethals. It's like you make a mistake and you already know you're dead. Like I was playing in SmurfQ this morning and I was playing like Jax into Fiora and the Fiora is like a Smurf Fiora player. It's like I know what Fiora does and I know what Jax does, but I don't know that skill matchup at all. And so like I use my Counter-Strike at a dumb time, right? And the guy just immediately like goes all in. It's like, well, that makes sense, but like I don't know it until I see it. Right? Like I didn't know it until it actually happened. And now I know, but it was going to cost me to find that information out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like that costed a lot for me to learn that. That might cost me the entire game. And with Victor and with control mages in general, it's kind of funny because a lot of you use Nocturne in discussing like easy, hard matchups. And I've been recommending Nocturne because the barrier to entry is just so low. And there's obviously a skill gap. And I don't know if you've played Nocturne much or not, or
I
what.
have not played a single game so far.
Really? Never?
Never. Oh, like, no. Okay. I have played Nocturne like seasons ago. I'm saying I haven't like played it played it this season at all. Yeah.
It's so, I mean, just for coaching a new, or just getting like a newer player or somebody who's really struggling to figure out the game, putting them on Nocturne and being like, okay, shove the wave, hit Q, and then beat somebody up is a hell of a lot easier to instruct than being like, oh yeah, let's get through a lane phase, like you said, Victor versus Nocturne. Let's put you on the other end of that, and then you just get PP slapped for the entire game and like get your lane shoved in. It can be really tough for them to actually get anywhere. I have another topic that I want to discuss with you, and it is your content creation side. Now, you're obviously good enough to make Challenger. You had aspirations of doing pro play stuff before, if I'm not mistaken. Is that something that you've kind of just been like, not really interested anymore? And if it is, why?
I mean, I quit going pro play because I knew that there'd be no chance nobody would pick me up after the last time that I got removed, which was on FlyQuest.
Got it.
So like basically, yeah, I was trying to go pro. I finally am able to join an academy team because like this whole entire thing happened where I actually made a whole entire video on my like pro story. So if I was to go from the very beginning, my video that I made was an hour long, just explaining literally everything.
Okay.
But yeah, I tried to go pro, and then I joined a bunch of different teams, and now I was able to sub for FlyQuest Academy, and I did really good during that time. So what happened was apparently like the main squad had issues with their mid, which was Fly at the time. So Keen, who was the academy, went up, and then they're like, okay, Peek and Wolf did really good when he was with us, so we'll just pick up him. So then I was able to join FlyQuest Academy for 1 year, or maybe it was only one split even. Like I played maybe 4 games first split, and then second split they moved Keen up. So after the season ends, we played inside playoffs. And inside of playoffs, we played versus C9. And at the time, I think C9 Academy was probably considered one of the best teams, and they might have won the entire thing. I don't really remember. On our side of the playoff bracket, it was just harder. I think CLG was on the other side, and I'm pretty sure that maybe would have been an easier matchup at the time than C9. But we eventually do lose to them, and there was a whole Meteos fiasco because Meteos got like removed from 100 Thieves and stuff, and there was bad stuff going on. And then during the C9 game, I felt like I did pretty good at the time versus Golden Glue, and everybody always was hyping him up because he was very consistent, and I did pretty decent, got good damage. Even though we lost games, I definitely wasn't the like person who was maybe dying a bunch and making it so we were losing. And even in games where we were losing, I was able to still make plays on my own and maybe almost bring us back a little bit.
Yeah.
So then after the season ended, I'm just like, okay, I feel like I played pretty good this season. Listen, we made it to playoffs, which means that, you know, out of 10 teams, we did pretty decent because this was semifinals. That's top 4. That's not bad, right?
Yeah.
For our team, I think we improved. I maybe played 1 split and everybody's like, yep. And I'm like, all right. But listen, I have heavy PTSD from being kicked from nearly every single team for the past like 6 years. You guys aren't going to kick me, right? And they're like, of course not. You're like the rock on our team, and you make sure that we're consistent and stuff. And then they kicked me. I'm like, what? Yeah.
It's like, thanks,
so
guys.
Then I was like, I'm not going pro anymore. I cannot. This was my last chance, and I know that nobody's going to pick me up because I've had multiple chances before, and I got kicked from an academy team. But like, also, I just don't want to deal with the bullshit of these guys. The staff normally from many teams will just not. They don't want confrontation, so they just. I feel like they don't want confrontation, so they will just lie to you. Because they would rather you be kicked randomly, like without you really hearing it, than them saying like, yeah, we're probably going to remove you and have you be like, oh, like, can I fight for my spot or anything? They just want you to like think that you're okay before like taking you out back.
So can I share a funny tale? I'm gonna share a funny tale with you to piggyback off of what you just said about avoiding confrontation. So this summoner speak thing, right? It's been doing okay, and there's been a lot of people, a lot of cool content creators on there. And I obviously have to reach out to people all the time, such as yourself. I have to personally like go out of my way and be like, hey, do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? Blah, blah, blah. And a lot of the times, like for the bigger content creators, I just don't get a response sometimes. Right. And it makes sense. You know, maybe they're busy, maybe they don't see it, maybe whatever, right? It doesn't matter. But the point is like, I've had some content creators that are on the lower end. Like I've had some on, and I've had some that, you know, just aren't on at the time. And I'm not going to say no names because I'm not out here trying to shit on anybody. But I had a content creator that's relatively decent size, right? It's like a decent sized content creator. It's just a little on the lower end from the content creators that I've been putting on this thing. So he asked if he could do it. And I was like, you know, I was probably going to get him on. And then somebody bigger came on. And then it was like, okay, well, I kind of have to take this person. And then eventually, like, I've been getting bigger guests, and it's like, okay, well, I have to keep a certain size of like guests. basically, I tried to tell the guy, like, I reached out on DMs, like, hey, just so you know, like, at this time, like, I'm looking for somebody like a little bit bigger. And I said it just like that, like just a little bit more influence right now. Like maybe that will change. Maybe I can get you on the boot camp, whatever, right? It wasn't like a personal attack, but it was just kind of that, right? And, you know, the guy was like, okay. And then like 15 minutes later or whatever, I guess the anger welled up, right? The guy comes back and he's fucking pissed. And he was like basically upset with me. He's like, I'm never doing it now. And I'm like, I mean, this is why I tried to, it's like, this is why people aren't nice. It's basically what it wound up being is like, I was only telling the guy, I didn't have to say anything, right? Like I could have just not said anything at all, ignored him, and then probably not have pissed him off. But since I told him that that's why, it was almost like I opened the door to the rage. Does that make sense? The only reason I'm telling you that is because you just talked about how, you know, people avoid confrontation. It's like, that's the reason. It's because when you try to do the nice guy thing and like tell them like, hey, this is exactly why. Like, it's not that I don't dislike you. It's like, this is what it is. And I got hit with the, you know, I'll never do this now. You think you're better than me? Blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, that's not, that's not what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, I think that the I mean, they're being paid to manage. They need to be more mature. I think that it's not very good. Okay, so there actually have been times where I've been told that I'm going to be kicked, and it's mostly by the team owners, and they're much older. And I think it goes much better when I'm told that I'm going to be removed than literally just lying to my face about like saying that, yo, you're completely safe. Yo, I'm totally going to pay you your money. And then they never pay me, like that kind of stuff. Like,
yeah, that's pretty hardcore.
Because I've missed a lot of money, like thousands of dollars. So yeah, like on Dream Team, the guy didn't pay me for like 4 months and I never got that payment ever. What's my goal with the game?
Yeah, if it's not pro play right now, like, yeah, I think it's a fair question, right? Like, what's your aim now?
I mean, I definitely am not as passionate as I have been.
Okay.
I think when I was extremely passionate, you know, I wanted to go pro. I had the drive. I wanted to improve. But now, I mean, I just kind of care more about, I want to make sure that I get good YouTube videos that feel like they are something that is not just the same repetitive information, but something that's unique and telling people how to actually improve. And I really try to make sure that I get a good YouTube video off every single day because I don't have a backlog, which is probably smart to have, but I have to just record. I just do recording every single day instead. I just play SoloQ and just commentate it and hope that it's going to be a game where like I don't upload games where my jungler is literally like 10 and 0 and I'm just like 0 0 0 because I'm like, I mean, I am getting too carried here to the point that like, yeah, I want to like contribute a lot and show how I can win inside of high elo and how I can contribute inside of it.
Yeah, this is something.
And then for the league aspect, I just want to be challenger every single season. Just one account is fine. That's all. If I can end season challenger, I'll be happy. And I care more about end season than like mid season, or anything like that. Like I've already reached it on 3 accounts, but I'm not going to like drop down and be like, I reached challenger. I want to make sure that I end the season challenger. So
yeah, I definitely, I think I ended challenger 1 season. And I think generally with me, it's always been, well, I will definitely, I mean, you're not wrong. It's definitely harder to end challenger because everybody seems to get a lot more competitive. At least they used to.
Yeah, the LP goes up like 150 at the last like week.
Yeah, so. it definitely goes up, and props to you because I've been getting flamed a lot in videos recently because just like playing low elo stuff from time to time and just being like, okay, you know, I'm gonna play a low elo game and just commentate it and go. But like you are doing like active high elo stuff, which is incredibly frustrating and time consuming. I know how much time you're spending doing that, and it's no joke. And it is very tough to juggle because you could just be in queue for a long ass time, or you could just have a game like you said that's decided on first crab, and
Yeah,
you
and
just
even
kind
if
of
it's
get
a
shit on.
win, it's still not a video. Like,
Yeah, it's very, very tough to like churn out content, and that was one of the reasons that I had you that I even reached out to you. It's because I know how hard it is to like commentate these types of games, and I know how difficult it is to actually like earn that spot and make content for it. It's definitely
yeah,
something. It's definitely something to be proud of. So I think it's kind of funny because on one end you're saying that like, oh, you know, I don't have as much passion for the game as I used to, but you know, in all respects, what you're doing is a lot harder in many different ways to what I'm doing. I am not actively seeking high elo. Of course, I mean, I could say very similar things in terms of like, yeah, there's not many people that coach fucking 5 people a day for months on end, right? Like it's obviously a different beast entirely, and it's all about like what you want to invest your time in and how you want to do things. But it's still just like it's a crazy to make challenger at all. Period is a crazy thing. To make it multiple times is a crazy thing. To play challenger games and try to commentate those and post them when you've got people like myself that tend to dip into, you've got people that are way worse than me too, that do like fucking bronze every single time and never even bother.
Yeah, I'm dipping my toes in that.
Yeah.
But for those videos, yeah, I'm gonna do like really like fun stuff instead. Like I already did one video. I did just full AP Zach mid. Like I'm not gonna play
I think I
like
saw that.
Yeah, I'd rather play something that's literally like almost like reportable in a way. But like of course I'm probably gonna do fine with it, but I'm not gonna play like Lux or Ari or something that like people want me to play inside of it, because I'll still just hard stomp because they're actually pretty viable. I want to play stuff that like literally people don't like play unless they're trying to just have fun normally and just see if I can win with it. Normally you can, but you know, like maybe full AD Ari, like crit Ari, mid lane or something.
Yeah, no. That's and it's funny because I was literally today I was like playing bot lane in SmurfQ. And I was playing Tryndamere bot lane, and I was like, you know what? Tryndamere makes sense in bot lane. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's like I'm pretty sure. I was like, I'm pretty sure I could get like a pretty high win rate to diamond at least with this. And that's the type of stuff that's to me is more interesting. It's just like you're saying. It's like the game is pretty solved in terms of tier lists. So anytime where you find something where you get to play it in a different role that like no one expects, and it actually it like works, it's always kind of a moment where you're like, you know, at least I understand how the game works. Because I feel like those off meta picks only really work if like you understand why you're picking them.
I mean, when I played the Zac one, it was just an understanding. The Silas uses E at a bad time, and then suddenly I just one lane. Like literally from one single mistake where he should have like not used his E, then I just win. So it's just an understanding of like how to punish even on a champion that, I'll be honest, Zac is actually not even that bad at laning.
No, he's never been that bad.
Trick. Yeah, there's a Zac one trick that played versus Quantum, and Quantum was playing Kali, and he got slapped around so hard by the Zac. The Zac was literally 100 to 0ing him underneath tower when he's like full HP, because this guy knows the limits of Zac. I would never be able to do it because I don't know the limits of it, but like it was ridiculous what this guy was doing. So it wasn't that bad. He wasn't going full AP though. He was still going tank Zac, but
it's one of those picks that's like deceptively strong. It's kind of funny that you've pointed it out, because I've always felt very similarly with top Zac, where it's like I had a coaching client that's like, oh, I played top Zac, and then just like the 80 Tryndamere thing, you got a bunch of people in your chat that's like, oh, that's so troll, like when I'm doing like a coaching, and it's like, no, dude, like I don't think you realize like it makes sense in context of the lane. If it makes sense in context of the lane, it doesn't really matter if it's not meta. Here is my ranked fixes awesomest list. So basically before we go over this, like these are my opinions on improving the state of the game long term. Before we go over this, would you agree that trolling, like people quitting and giving up, is at an all-time high? The highest it's ever been? Because I would say yes, but
it's probably somewhat a yes. The thing is, as soon as you actually start getting more challenger players, they actually won't just give up. I think Grandmaster players have massive egos, and like they will almost give up immediately. And there's of course some Challenger players will as well, but the amount of times that it's happened inside of like the lower elo bracket of like Master and Grandmaster versus the higher bracket is definitely way more extreme. So
okay, so
yeah,
roughly,
I think people give up a lot. Yeah,
roughly yes. It's definitely like Korea, like the Korea mentality is becoming more prevalent. So now that I said that, we've established that. So here's my list. All right, so dodging needs to go. Now here, let me justify this to you. Okay, I acknowledge that matchmaking does doozy shit sometimes, but I don't think dodging is good for the game. I don't think dodging.
Okay,
is
what if I
healthy for
told
the
you I
game.
literally never dodge?
Then this wouldn't bother you, would it?
Yeah, I know. Does that make Challenger any more impressive?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100% it does. It makes it makes your accomplishment way better. Yes,
dude,
and I think
got a Yuumi jungle inside of Grandmaster, and I didn't dodge, and we won.
Yeah,
no lie.
It probably scaled up to be pretty scary too, didn't it?
No.
Oh.
She cannot do anything. But the thing is, I knew I played extremely like, you know, like if you think that you might lose a game, you sometimes have to take extreme risks where you don't know where people are, but you know that if you can kill this guy, it's going to be massive. I was playing like that during the entire game, like from level 1, because if I don't get a lead, I was playing Kiana. If I don't get a lead early, we're gonna lose, right? Like we have a Yuumi jungle who basically did 1 camp and then reset, I'm pretty sure, because she couldn't do 2. Like, so I was like, all right, if I get fed enough on Kiana, maybe there's a chance of winning this game. So I just played super aggressively, and of course, once I get like 5 kills or something, I'm like basically a 1v5 champion where if I get one good ulti, I can just win it. So
yeah, no. So I don't know. Chat's giggling and teeing because I want to make it clear. You, if I said this wrong, you not dodging is like.
Yeah, everybody says dodging is important for like climbing inside Halo, and I'm just like, listen, everybody dodges. Listen, people dodge for me because they don't want to play with me in the first place. So that's my way of climbing, I guess.
Yeah, I would say if first off, I think removing dodging is a must. Because I think long term, it would be better for the game, and it'd be better for the queue times, and it'd be better for the player base. Just because everybody would have to learn more roles. I think a lot of people.
I'd want to see what it's like. Yes.
Yeah. Right.
I really would.
Yeah, that would be the first thing. So you wouldn't mind this one, okay? Duo removed. That's already happened.
Yeah.
But like. You know, maybe in Diamond it should be removed and it should just all move to Flex. I mean, this one is kind of solved in higher elo, so I don't think this one really applies to you that much. Your thoughts are what? Duo's fine to be removed?
Yeah, it's fine. I 100% miss it, like, because it was fun to play. Like, listen, man, it can get lonely.
No, it's very isolationist.
I have 3 Challenger accounts, and I have like 1 like Diamond 1 account. I'm like, if this promotes to Master Tier, I don't have any account I can duel with anyone.
Yeah, no, for real. That's one thing, but like at the same time, there were here's my reason. I guess I have to give you the reason so you understand. Like the problem is most of the issues that show up in high elo, like these like weird combos that like a team can't prep for in a solo queue environment. Like, yeah. Master Yi Taric. Remember that? It was like every other game was like a Master Yi Taric bullshit thing that you had to deal with, but it was like unplayable. It was unplayable. So it was like the only reason it existed though was because of Duo.
Yep.
Right?
You're right.
Like,
yes, definitely. Even when it wasn't that, even if I'm solo queuing and it's just like 2 LCS players duo queuing, I'm like, well, it is screwed. Like I'm playing versus like an LCS mid laner and jungler, and I have like a solo queue jungler. Normally, there's no way that I'm gonna be able to communicate when he like is like probably in comms with his jungler, being like, "Hey, can you just shove out my wave real fast? I'm in a pretty bad spot here, and he might be able to kill me." And then I can't communicate with my jungler to like, "Hey, if you come here, we can maybe kill them because they're gonna try to shove out after they have this." Like, it's just too hard. Even just not the like cheesy picks, but just playing duo queue, dude. The amount of games that I remember I lost because I'm literally versus like a bot lane duo queue with an autofill 80 carry. I'm like, this is so screwed. You know, like Like basically you get like Tactical and Core JJ on the same team and they're in columns together. I'm like, great.
Yeah, it's not really playable, and this is why I was always very confused why it was in the game in the first place. And it's like you said, it's not even all cheesy picks, although the worst offenders in the ladder. Now, Tariq Yi is dead, but like that wasn't dead for like 2 years. And then there's shit that pops up still to this day, like Yumi Kane. It's like at that point, the game isn't even about like the solo queue anymore. It becomes about the duo, right? Like it just has way too much pull, I guess. And so that's why, but like how funny would it have been? Like think about all the times you saw Tariq Yi. Of all the times that you saw Tariq Yi in a mid and jungle situation, how many times do you think the Tariq and the Yi queued solo? Right?
Probably like
never
10% or less.
Yeah, like never.
Yeah.
Like never.
If anything, it's like
if
huge
they did,
margin.
Yeah. And if they did, let's say that there was no duo, right? I'm not trying to sell Tariq Yi to anybody. I'm not saying that we should bring it back or anything. But like, I feel like it wouldn't even have been a big issue if it was just a solo queue game in the first place. Like we would have never even given a shit about Tariq Yi. Like no one would have queued up. Could you imagine me queuing up into your game and being like, yo dog, pick Tariq?
Yo, wait. If people have done it before, it could happen. I could understand it. Hey, when I was on FlyQuest, this reminds me, there was a meta where you would do funnel. And competitively funnel. Do you not remember that? I was playing like Tariq and he would play like Graves. Wait, it actually existed before they like nerfed some of the items, but I remember like we would just hard shove mid and then go into the enemy jungle and he would like dash on somebody with my stun.
Wow.
And it was like
that is dumb.
It was sometimes funnel versus funnel. Like it was literally like Tariq and then they would pick Lulu and then it would be like a funnel Nidalee versus a funnel Graves. It existed for like maybe one patch. I swear. I remember scrimming. It's like
I remember one. It was like one underrated one. It was Nautilus Karthus. Like Nautilus mid.
Yeah. I think I remember Karthus funnel.
Yeah, it was a weird one, but that one was pretty cool too. It was like a Nautilus, Nautilus mid, and they would do some shit where they like would just dive bot like so fast. They would just like shove and just run straight to bot lane. I was like, wait, what the hell is this? They just walked the Karthus under the tower and he would just print money. I was like, oh, okay, this is really cool, guys. Cool concept. Man, I love that. I would say duo needs to be removed, but it kind of is. 3. Okay, this is my personal like pet. This is like my pet project opinion. Now, this one I sent to Riot. Data mining in Champ Select and in game removed. So, in case this isn't clear, I think it's bullshit that I can look your account up in ranked and see what you're doing.
I know what it means.
Okay. Just
I've seen this opinion on Reddit.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay, good. So I think it's bullshit that you can look people up. Okay, cool.
And because I don't look up anyone. So
you don't?
Listen, man, I'm literally playing like Jump King while I'm in Champion Select and not paying attention to anything. I'll be real. Sometimes people are literally like, can we pick mid here? They picked mid and I look at them like, oh, sorry, I wasn't looking. I never look up anybody's things. The only time I look up people's accounts is after I lose and I'm like, this guy sucks. Let me look up, oh, this guy is so bad. Like I look it up after the game. But
well, that's kind of what I'm saying it should be. I'm saying that basically it shouldn't be, you shouldn't be able to look up your teammates in the lobby. I believe
that would
you
also
shouldn't
help
even
dodging, by the way.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
If it says summoners, you have no idea that you have auto-filled Peek and Wolf jungle on your team. You just have to trust.
Yeah, it would be. It would lower queue times. Yeah, it would lower queue times.
It would. Yeah.
Yeah. Think about all the dodges, all the time saved. Think about all the overall player base would basically be forced to get better at the game in its entirety.
I know that there's so many people that would hate this, by the way.
Oh, I know. I've been
and they would probably like try to like say like, I'm not gonna play the game if you do this, but they're gonna play. I know it.
Yeah,
there's probably so many high elo like the kind of. I feel like most of the toxic players, like the more toxic side, would be like, this is this is so unfair. Like, this should not be inside of the game. But then they're gonna be like, I'm gonna literally quit if you guys implement this. But they're just lying to themselves. They're not they're not gonna quit.
Yeah, I think it's good for, I use the term like the longevity of the game. Like, why are we pretending that it's okay to dodge 15-20% of all matches, like all lobbies?
Yeah.
Like, it's so unhealthy for the game, so unhealthy for the streams. Do you stream often? You must to do.
I try to stream daily.
So you know then what I'm talking about. You say you play Jump King and Q, right?
Yeah.
So like, think about how much time you waste and your viewers waste waiting for you to play the fucking video game.
Yeah, I mean, we spend a lot of time waiting. I mean, sometimes I'm thankful for it because I'm like, all right, I mean, it's probably more beneficial that I don't only play League of Legends. It would be pretty sick if I can somehow get some of a variety audience. So just in case if League ever dies, that I'm not completely screwed. But so I'm like, kind of, at least my viewers are getting their toes dipped into the water of being like, well, we watch Pekin play something else for 30 minutes while he's trying to find a game.
Yeah, no, I feel you. So this one,
it's probably worse for
chat.
people that aren't streamers.
Yes.
I guess, yeah, I mean, I guess you could say like, yeah, the viewers are wasting their time or whatever, but like the people that are like in queue for 30 minutes, like maybe trying to practice something and they literally aren't able to play for so long. And maybe their practice is more important than mine because I'm literally, I don't care, man. I'm just being a challenger player. But like, if you're trying to practice something for maybe a tournament for like, if you're academy or amateur or LCS or something, then it's actually even worse. And then you and then you get autofilled not roll, like, and then you can't even practice it.
But the thing is, that's not what League is. That's not what solo queue is.
Yeah.
Solo queue, I mean, yeah, you're right. It's cool to practice for your games in solo queue or whatever. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but I'm just saying that that's not the goal of solo queue. The goal of solo queue is a different thing, and you know it is because you played. Yeah, you've played pro. It's not pro is a different thing. You get 5 people in comms. You come in with drafts. Like, I never came into a solo queue game like, we've got to win the draft. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I never do that. I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna ban this shit because it wins in solo queue. I'll ban
I was just talking about
that's
practicing
like,
champions. Like, I sucked dick at Irelia, so I just had to like, I had to play a bunch of Irelia inside solo queue just to be decent at her. And I feel like some people probably, like, if pros ever are gonna pick up Zoe, they're gonna need to spam the shit out of it again because I feel like nobody's playing that champion right now, and like she's semi-difficult to actually win games with. Sure, her laning phase is good, but like,
yeah, no, I feel you. This 4 is disable chat and rank. Now, some people are gonna like not use their brain on this and be like, well, you can turn off chat, but like it's very tempting to just turn it on and yell at people. Really, like, I should just be able to opt out of chat personally. Like, personal opinion, like there should be a thing that I click that just says like no chat. And I don't even think chat is that good for the game overall. I think the only time that chat is useful for the game is like summoner timers. Yeah, that's about it.
Like, you're saying that this is different than like just turning chat off? Yeah,
I'm just saying that, like, give people the option to just completely like remove it. Like, I'm saying,
I thought you can remove chat inside settings. No,
you can turn it off, but like I'm saying, the temptation to just turn it on and flame your teammates is clearly too high. If people, if chat was as easy, basically what I'm saying is I bitch at people all the time. Like, just can't help it. Like, sometimes you just be like, these guys fucking suck. But like, yeah, they give you the option. But what I'm saying is that, like, why is it even in the game at all? For 99% of the player base, it's actually just a thing to bait you into like getting chat restricted. And I don't even think 99%
maybe some people play League to flame people. You're ruining their purpose.
I mean,
I thought this was supposed to be to increase the longevity of League. Clearly, this needs to be removed.
You know what? You know what though? You actually, I know you're being funny, but at the same time though, you're kind of onto something. Yeah, you're actually onto something because
I found something.
Yeah, because the game, I always say all the time on stream how the game has the highest highs and the lowest lows. You know, like when you're crushing in League, it feels great, and when you're losing in League, it feels really shitty. Maybe in Riot's eyes, it's better for the longevity of their game and their product if people are just tied into that toxicity loop, right? Of just kind of like bashing on people.
Yeah. I mean,
For
is it
real,
really
though.
toxic to just tell the person that they made a mistake and what their mistake was and not to do it again? Come on.
I mean, to a Redditor, yes. Yes, you can't say that. The only thing you can say is good job and hashtag ehugs or something. I don't fucking know. Like there's no real, there's never, basically in the eyes of someone that plays the game casually, any type of criticism means that you aren't a very nice person. It's basically
I would
how
say
I've always
most of the
viewed it.
time that somebody is trying to give criticism, they're like trying to make the other person upset, because there's times where I'm like, whoops, shit, I died. And I'm like playing inside like maybe on account, maybe people don't know who I am, and people are like, they're like, we saw him coming there. I'm like, yeah, I know. I almost 2v1. Like, if I literally just landed one ability, I would have been able to do it. That was just a mistake on my end. And they're just like, they're like, you made the worst. We're gonna lose this game, and you're trash, and you're gonna be hard stuck here for the rest of your life. And like, I'm not currently projecting anything onto you. Like, this is all your fault. Like,
yeah, and it's
people
just
go
like
a little bit too much. I feel like if people were just like, hey, dang, that was a pretty bad death there, or whatever, I feel like people would not be as bad. But people go hard, dude, when they're like upset about how someone died. And normally the person knows how they died and they're upset as well. I don't think anybody's like dying on purpose and enjoying it. I mean, okay, actually, there's some people. Some people first time Yasuo inside ranked when they see certain summoners.
yeah, I heard about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully no streamers do that.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a shortage of like, I always say there's a shortage of my bads in League of Legends.
Oh my
Like,
gosh. Wait, that would prevent that, by the way. Sorry, I just realized that.
No. What?
Oh, if champion select was hidden, like you just said, summoner 1 through 5, you couldn't target grief people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. No, it should have already been removed. Like it's the poker thing all over again. I've used this comparison before. I'll tell you a quick story. So like when you play online poker, it used to be you could play online poker and you could add people to your friends list in online poker.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so Poker Stars was the classic example. So let's say you are a terrible poker player. I don't know if you are or you aren't, but let's pretend that you are.
Bro, I don't even know how to play poker.
Okay, so you would be a fish, right? You're a millionaire and you're just fucking around on Poker Stars, okay?
No, I pick up games really fast. I would be really good.
Yeah, not for the first week. And then so what happens is, right? They go and they sit down at your table and you just punt off a ton of money, right? Well, what they used to do is they would all add you to their friends list.
Yeah.
Right?
And it would add them even if I don't add them back, right? Is that
I would do something like that.
So they could just follow me around.
Table. Yes, you would sit at the table and everyone would camp at your table and try to fucking game you. Well, it's not exactly the same in League of Legends, but like the toxicity is the same. So let's say that I go into a game and I play Tryndamere mid and I get owned. Right? And I face a Zoe mid, a matchup that I suck at, and I get just paffed on by like, I don't know, a Jarvan. And I'm just getting owned under my tower and getting shit on. And now everyone thinks that I'm terrible. I go like 0-7 and I just get shit on and I can't split and I can't do anything. And then the next game I queue up and then I've got like, I don't know, fucking Tarzan on my team in my lobby and he sees it's me and he just starts going off on me in chat.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, this would never have happened had you not shown people that it's me. And it's not doing that guy. It's not, and I'm using Tarzan as just like a random example, but like it's not doing him any. It's not doing him any favors either, right? Like you're not making him feel happy about the game that he's about to play either. Like
he knew as soon as you locked in that Tryndamere.
Yeah.
I know. I know what you mean.
Well, dude, this was fun. Let's do this again sometime.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Fun. Obviously, I will. I'll be posting all your stuff. Keep on the grind, dude. I mean what I say. Like I only reach out to people that impress me. The content impresses me. What you do impress me. So just keep doing it. I think it's awesome. All right.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right, man. Have a good one. We're gonna talk later offline about businessy stuff, but we'll cap this off now. And guys, we'll be posting all of that YouTube stuff so you can check out Pekin Woof, dude. Or when I first saw your name, someone posted in chat. I literally responded, wait, who is Pecker Wolf? And then I quickly,
yeah,
and
Perkin.
I quickly, yeah, I, Perkin Wolf. Yeah, I was like, wait, okay, no, that's not how you say that name. So apologies. But yeah, man, thank you so much for being on here. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a good one.